What's happened in the past week? I'm sure I'm not going to cover everything that is new because there's always a lot new, but this is what I've captured. One conversation that I saw on Google Plus was that somebody who also does interviews, he does Hangouts, and I was hoping he could come and share it with us, but he wasn't available. What he shared was that, at least in Canada, it seems like Google is capturing the information of businesses that are on yellow pages, the paper yellow pages, and including it into their Google local listings. So whether you, a business, a local business, mom and pop shop, have done the effort to go create a Google Place page or something for themselves on Google, that is really not relevant anymore, because what Google has done, it has scanned all those pages out of paper yellow pages, and now your business, whether you like it or not, has a place on Google Places, so, or Google local pages. And what can happen is that people can, when they search, let's say, for a pizza place or whatever, and around their area, then if your shop comes up and if there is a negative review and you don't know about it, it could basically hurt your competitive advantage. So take a note of it. If you have a mom or local shop, or if you have clients that have local shops, make sure that you check for the presence of the business on Google local pages and claim it, and take a look to see if there are any reviews. And another point that was mentioned was that Google can rate any business and give it an average rating, and until you have 10 reviews, you don't get an average rating, and you want to make sure that you have the average rating. So that's another incentive to ask your clients to really rate your place. Do either of you have anything to add?
I agree. I mean, you know, it all comes back down to getting people to your website. So you gotta use those Google rankings that you can, and it's just an easy thing nowadays to go in there and create. If you're not there, to create your profiles and to put your business in there. If you're not doing that, you need to get Eunice or Sherry to help you with that and start building a robust presence online as best you can with your business. I mean,
or Randy.
Well, I'll be glad to help you. So, but you know, I mean, in reality, that's just the way businesses work. I mean, you know, the argument about people window shopping and box shopping now, you know, I'm not the only one in my age bracket that has an iPhone that I research everything before I buy it. So if I'm driving down the road and I want to go to a pizza place, I'm going to use that phone to find it. Typically, if I'm someplace where I've never been before, so that's what you do.
It seems like businesses now need to really pay a lot of attention on online reputation management, and when allocate some budget for somebody to do that all the time, especially if you're a local business.
Yep.
Eunice, you were going to say something?
I was going to say that, you know, I remember 7 years ago when I started my business, we had a rep from Yellow Pages visit us, and we're trying to figure out where to place our listing. And when you think about it, once that is put in place and it's printed and the book goes out, it's done. There's no fixing anything about it after that. It's done for the year till the next time you have to put it in there. Nowadays, that Yellow Pages, I find that on my front door, it's going straight to recycle. I never look at the damn thing. Excuse me. I don't. And so when
still expensive too.
I know. And I think Yellow Pages folks have figured it out, that nobody wants the big, thick books anymore. But yeah, so every business owner ought to understand that, you know, some of these things are dying down. You need to be online. Make sure you're checking your profile, because people are updating, people are looking for you there. And if you're not, you've lost the customer potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's a shift in demographics that's going on. I mean, there's still the benefit of being in that local publication.
Yes.
I mean, you don't want to discount that and lose that demographic, but I mean, you know, you gotta think about the baby boomer class that I happen to be out of. I mean, we're approaching, you know, we're getting into that 60 age demographic. But everybody I know, pretty much everybody I know, at least 90% of the people I know that's in my demographic, I would say 95% of the people in my demographic, except my brother, is connected in some way, and he's a little bit older, not much, but he's a little bit older, is connected in some way digitally. I mean, they're wired. So that is a major shift that's going on. And then you look at that active demographic above mine that is, you know, a lot of those people are doing that. I mean, that's so there is Eunice is right, that Yellow Page publication is dying. It's not necessarily going away, it's just going online.
I think it's going to be local intensive in that instead of getting that huge big book, you're getting that neighborhood community listing, and you want to be on that too. That huge.
Carrie, could you mute yourself? Thank you. Okay. Yes, and now that we're talking about reputation management, I just wanted to bring to your attention that next week we're going to be discussing reputation management, and we're going to focus on Yelp. Yelp is a website that I often, that's the only place I go, either on my Facebook page, ask my Facebook friends, or go to Yelp and research it. And that also, Yelp comes with its you know, good, bad, and ugly aspects of it. So we're going to have, next week, we're going to discuss it. And Carrie Jenig, my friend, just joined us. Hi, Carrie. Okay, so next news is that Google has redesigned its AdWords offering, and they call it AdWords Enhanced Campaigns. And the difference is that Google is taking control away from the people that are the ad managers in some ways. And the goal of this is to gain a greater and increasing market share for the mobile advertising. So the way used to be is that campaign managers would create a campaign and then they would clone it, and they would set each one of them for either tablets or desktop or mobile, and target it for local or timing. But right now there's just, you create one campaign, and then everybody starts with a default pricing for both desktop and tablets, because in Google's experience, and you know they have a lot of data, they feel that the customer behavior is very similar on desktops and mobile, and no, not mobile, on desktops and tablets. So you get a initial default, what you start with, bidding. And then if you wanted to include mobile, you start increasing the bidding, so the pricing goes up for the bidding if you wanted to add mobile. If you didn't want to include mobile at all, you set up the bidding for mobile to minus 100%. So your ad doesn't show up on mobile phones at all. If you wanted to increase the share for mobile compared to desktop and tablets, for example, you say positive some number. So that, I thought that was very interesting, and in a way Google has put itself in a position where it is making decisions for business owners and for us, that's my view, based on the data it has. Data is valuable, and it's kind of in tune with the direction that the leaders of Google want to take us. And I read an article sometime, and it says they want to take Google to a place where when you open up your browser already knows what you're searching for. You get into a car and your car already knows where you're going. So another aspect of that is that if we are, it's that fight between Facebook and Google, and we're always so worried about Facebook getting our data and having control. You want to think about that. Google also has a lot of data about us, and look at the goal where they're taking us. So just be cautious. My the message is that don't sort of put all your eggs in one basket, like Randy said in the beginning, and realize that both Facebook and all these websites that we're using for free are using our information. Anybody has anything to share about this topic? Randy?
I'll add some. I don't. Hey, Carrie, it's nice to see you. I don't think. I mean, there's plenty of haters out there, just like Fords and Chevys. You know, you got your things, and Google's the big elephant that people love to throw peanuts at occasionally. But you can't beat Google. You know, it's just what it is. And to think that, think how long Google's been around, and before Facebook, when you used to go online and you would say, hey, I've got a rash on my stomach. What's this rash? And you'd ask a question, right? Well, Google has that. They've always had it, and they've got everything that you could imagine on you, on everybody out there. So, yeah, is that data valuable, and how they're using it? I mean, if you have a digital footprint, then you've pretty much given over your privacy. Now, I'm not advocating that. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for creeps and cruds out there to take advantage of that, and you got to protect yourself. But if you're playing in the digital space and you've done something, they pretty much can farm that and they can sell it. I mean, they're in the business to make money. Yeah. Facebook, I mean, from day one, Facebook, when it started courting business opportunities, the goal was to make money. I mean, so when people start, and they always do, they get a little angst about a change here or a tweak there. It's still it's free to enter. So that's there. If you enter, you accepted their terms of service. So and now, I think I read a great blog post by Mark Schaefer this week that said, "Hey, just let me pay you. Let me pay you for that and deal with it that way." I mean, I think Facebook is wrestling with that. The dilemma that they've got themselves into is, it was how they positioned themselves and how they attracted everybody. Well, they did that to grow that audience to utilize that data that they would have. Very valuable.
Anybody else? Carrie? No? Eunice, do you have anything to say? No? Oh, okay. All right. So next, another news with Google is that has to do with Google Plus, and if you are managing any communities, we all want to make sure that our communities are clean and we're sharing. We don't want people that create spam or postings that we don't like. So if someone in your community flags a post as spam, you have the opportunity with one click to report the person, remove them, and also ban that person from the community. So that's an added tool. I'm sure there's a whole lot of stuff that is going on with Google Plus that I haven't been able to keep up with. Do you guys know anything new that Google Plus has added the past week?
I just learned something. That's great. I'm glad to hear that, Sherry.
Okay, good. Anybody else? No? Okay. All right. So, Facebook. I don't know. Do you guys ever use Facebook friendship pages? Apparently there is, and it has been available, and today was the first time I looked at it. Apparently you can see the history of how you are connected to somebody. So if you go to the desktop, to the web application, and you go to someone's profile, and on the top there's that wheel thingy, you click it and you can go on the friendship page. You can look at your relationship with a particular person. It gives you a timeline of how you're connected with a particular person, when you first met, who your shared friends are, what type of posts you've liked or shared and stuff with them. It's really it's a great source of information for you to really understand the people you're friends with, especially those of us who use it as a business connection tool. And then the news was, apparently this has been available since November of last year, but the news is that now that feature has become available to the mobile web application for Facebook. So there's a mobile web app and there's a native app that is for that Facebook application that we use to connect with people. And that option is available. You can actually see your Facebook friendship page on the mobile web Facebook application. For the web application, you only see it when somebody gives you a gift. So I learned something. There's so much to know about Facebook, and I've learned some. Do you think you're gonna start looking at it? Yeah.
I'll add something that I've started doing lately on Facebook, and that's you know, there was a tremendous rush to build audience out there originally, still is, but I mean, and I see it more and more. I've always tried to keep my profile totally separate from my business page. I do the same, and I coach those clients that we deal with to do that. I see a proliferation of, and it's always been a misunderstanding of how that works. A lot of people, you know, didn't understand the difference between profiles and pages to begin with. And there's just a tremendous amount of, I mean, because of the filter options that you have out there, just seems to be a tremendous amount of business infiltration on the profile side of it. People still use that. So I've started, and I've noticed a lot of people having some angst about that and trying to filter those conversations out. And I think try to rein their engagement back to a more family, friend type environment and not be bombarded with a pitch here, a pitch there constantly out there. So what I've tried to do is both on my business account and my personal is I've started weeding some of that out, some of that stuff that, you know, it doesn't quite fit. If people haven't really engaged with me, and I know that a lot of people say, well, I engage with everybody I got, you know, and there's an argument out there that there's a lot of people that are silent and they like what you're doing, but they don't maybe participate. Well, I kind of weigh that. Just depends on that. So I'm not just blanket wiping that out, but I've learned some lessons through the fake buys and things that have all been uncovered over the last year or so out there, and trying to deal with that. So I've been more inclined to trim back and make sure that you're getting valid relationships and utilizing those platforms to do that. So that said, I can see where the option that you just shared, Sherry, would help identify that more so when you start making those type decisions.
Yeah, I agree. Carrie, what do you think? You're our Facebook diva. You want to add something?
You know, I have to say that I haven't really used the relationship pages too much. You know, every once in a while I'll take a look, but it didn't seem to be such a huge deal for me because those that I was interacting with, I knew how we were related. But I guess what Randy's saying is that, you know, if you really are looking at, wow, who's attached to me and how do I want to be found in the graph search, you know, I guess that would be valuable. That it's on the mobile web. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine it being uber useful because, you know, usually when you're on the go, you're clicking, you're sharing, you're not doing that. So I'm not sure what the thought process is there. Mm-hmm. I wonder what it's leading to. That's my question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always a reason for. Yeah,
more data.
Probably.
Maybe the fact that it's for the native app, the fact that it's attached to gifts, and when somebody sends you a gift, you want to know why somebody sent you a gift. Should you? Yeah, I don't know.
You know, and it does go back to what I said about Google. You know, if you ever typed in there, I've got a rash on my stomach. What's this rash? Well, and my around the fire conversation's always been about we're all closet warriors and we like to peer in people's lives. Facebook gives us that opportunity. It's amazing what people share on Facebook. We're all amazed every day, right? What you see on there. So if you're putting stuff on there, they're data mining that, and that's what they're going to use it for.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to talk, but I had an instance yesterday that I'm involved in a business type group on Facebook, and it's one of those secret things you don't know it exists unless you're in it. And there's a person in there that I would think that if you're in that situation, you are hoping to step yourself up and up your game and maybe refine what you're putting online and get some strategy behind it. And I just found this amazingly uncharacteristic of that statement made by a member of the group, and I was just so stunned that they would put this online knowing that, especially in the social space, people are going to look at that, and you can't ever take that away.
Yeah.
I was stunned.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I agree. We have to be careful what we put out there. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Eunice. Were you going to say something? Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hear me
Good.
now?
Yes.
Sorry, I had myself on mute there. I was going to say, I remember a couple of months back, Facebook had an article out, or somebody had an article out that some of the profiles on Facebook were fakes, were bots made by people trying to spam folks on Facebook. I think it's one way of them trying to make sure that you are who you are. Think back to when you upload pictures, they now want you to identify the person that's in the picture, and that recognition goes back to their profile, that then this is a legit profile. I think that's where that's coming from.
Oh, I see.
Validating that we have real people, that there's a real person behind this profile. It's not a fake profile.
So is that a requirement?
Okay, that's what I think it's just their back end thing to try and validate profiles rather than, because we've got those numbers out there, billions or trillions of people on Facebook, but that's probably not true because some of them are spammy profiles.
I see. So it would be equivalent of the real author tool for Google Plus.
Yes.
Where you authenticate people.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Yeah, it's valuable. So thank you for your input. Another piece of news, I want to kind of introduce it as a part of our Tools of Efficiency segment. Every week I share a tool that makes our work more efficient, and one tool that everybody's been raving about and everybody loves is Buffer app. And basically what you do, you go into the Buffer app, you choose the specific times that you want to share information to your social networking sites, and then set it up once, and then Buffer app gives you a little icon that is added on to your browser, and when you find something that's really interesting that you want to share, all you do is click that icon. It opens up. You choose which social networks you want to share it on, and then click Buffer, and it sends it out to your social network at a time that you have chosen. So it's targeted. All you have to do is to choose those times once. So that's really efficient. And now what's happened is that Buffer has been integrated into Feedly. Buffer has a mobile app, but I've never been able to find a way to streamline finding information on my mobile phone and using Buffer app to feed it into my social networks. I found it really cumbersome. So I never use, although I have the app, I never use Buffer when I'm using my mobile phone. But now Buffer has been integrated into Feedly, and Feedly is a news reading app for iOS, Android, and also for the web, which when the fact that it's integrated makes me want to use Feedly now on my phone, that just, it makes life so much more efficient. Now, I want to ask my panel to say, my friends, anything you have to say about Buffer? Maybe there's some things that I missed. Any of you want to say anything? Randy?
I don't use Buffer, so I have to say that I'm gonna have to stay silent on that one.
Okay. Carrie?
Okay, Sherry. This might surprise you. I have a Buffer account, but I've used it twice.
Oh, okay.
I'm intrigued by what this helps mobile users do, but because my systems are not geared with Buffer, I feel kind of like, oh man, you know. So I think it could be efficient for those that are using Buffer. I think it will help people who are not typically sharing as much, maybe share more with the mobile connection.
Yeah, that's what actually going to help me do, because I've always found sharing through my mobile, because I read a lot on my phone.
Yeah.
That's going to change the game for me. How about you, Eunice? Do you use Buffer?
I was a fan of Buffer until I found Sprout Social, and I tell you, it's Buffer and then some. Because it does let you do the scheduling like you want it to do, but it also lets you tailor it to an audience. It also lets you post it multiple times. Say you have, gosh, I'm trying to think of a perfect example, but I know you can post the same content over a month, or if you want, or over a couple of days at a certain time. It right now is not integrated with Google Plus, but neither is Buffer. But Sprout Social actually works for me far better than Buffer does.
Okay, so your tool of choice for scheduling to multiple platforms is Sprout Social?
Sprout Social.
Okay.
It does more than what Buffer does.
Okay. How does it compare to Hootsuite?
Hootsuite is overwhelming to me. It is not a very clean user interface. It's I don't know what to say about it, but I tell you this: Sprout Social is far cleaner. It doesn't look as chaotic as Hootsuite does. Hootsuite's advantage, though, is that you then can post to groups, and you can also post to your social, your Google Plus. Yesterday, I understood that Sprout Social is going to integrate Google Plus as well, so I'm very excited about that. They've integrated LinkedIn. The four major social networks that we want to use: your Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, pretty much.
Okay. Does Sprout Social give you insight into your followers and people that are following you?
Gives you your demographics, age groups, geography, very beautiful analytics, and I'm an analytics junkie. So I can tell you today which post of my clients went viral or didn't. Real time, actually, reporting, which is fantastic.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
I have a Sprout Social account, not utilize it as, and I haven't been a convert like Eunice has, but I can tell you this, that many of my engagers out there rave. I mean, I've heard nothing but accolades heaped on Sprout Social, so it is it is one of the premier enterprises out there.
Okay. Well, okay, that's great. That makes me want to take a look at it a little bit more. Well, thank you very much, Randy, Eunice, and Carrie. Thank you so much for teaching us about how to create a budget and staying on for the 2 segments of our show. I want to remind you that next week we're going to be talking about reputation management and Yelp. We're going to focus on Yelp. I also want to ask you that if you watch this video and you enjoyed what you heard, you found it valuable, please click the like button and share it so other people can take advantage of the education. And Randy, if people wanted to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can just connect with me at on Twitter is the easiest one at Bowden to Bowden. So that would be the easiest connect. So
So
look for me.
Bowden, number 2, Bowden.
That's correct. Bowden to Bowden.
Okay, so thank you very much again for giving us your time. I realize it's Friday, and but
I got a drink waiting for me. Now it's time to go relax. So.
okay. So thank you very much again.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you again.
You're welcome. And with that, I'm going to bring this show to an end. And until next week.